All right, in part 4 of Zap Basic Training, we are going to talk about adding contacts into your Zap database so that you can use this to keep in touch with them and keep track of everybody. So there's 2 ways to add contacts. One is individually and the other is in bulk. I'm going to start with individually. This would be you entering a friend, a family member, somebody you meet at an open house, a referral, whatever it may be. You're going to go up here to add, click add, then hover, don't click, on new contact, move over to individual contact and click. Now, all you really need to put your contacts into Zap would be a first name and an email address. If you have more information than that, great. I mean, the more the better, because it's just going to help you keep track of everything. But really, you don't need to have that much in order to get started and have somebody in here. So we're going to make up a name. We're going to call her Bitsy Buyer. Okay, so I'm going to put her first name, last name in here. I'm going to put in her email address. Sorry, my computer's been a little bit slow, so I'm going to give it a moment. Thanks. I'm going to put in her email address. Let's bitsy1@gmail.com. All right, and if I have a phone number for her, I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I'm going to say at this point that I don't. I can add her address if I know her address. This is especially good if you have a potential seller. Lead information, I can add in information like what's her status? Is she somebody I just met? Is she somebody who I'm actively showing properties to, or maybe someone I'm just keeping in touch with? What's her source? Where did I get her from? Is she a referral, a friend and family, past client? Is it from marketing? This again helps me keep track of what I'm doing that helps me get clients and where I met people so I can remember when I speak with them. If I know her birthday, I can add her birthday. If I know her anniversary, I can add her anniversary. Notes are important. I would add in the notes where and when you met this person. If it was at an open house, what was the open house? What was the date? Maybe add if you know, if they had kids, what are their kids' names? What's their, husband or wife's name? Any information, where are they looking? And there's another place to put that, but it's nice to have it here in the notes just because you can get a quick little snapshot of who this person is. If you know their job, where they work, if you want to add their, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Property interest is good. Here's where you can add, what are we looking for? How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, price range, square footage, location, and you can add multiple locations and what's their timeline. And of course, this will be for a buyer. And then if you do know, the partner, if it's a husband, wife, sometimes it's a parent or a child that's working with them, brother or sister. So you can put that information in there, whatever you know about them. Okay. But again, don't need much right now except for this to start. So I'm going to click add. And remember in an earlier part, we talked about the manual lead welcome email. One of the first things it's going to do is ask me, do I want to send a welcome email? Okay. The nice thing is it asks you first because you might be adding in, someone that you've been working with for a long time, and to send them a welcome email might be kind of weird. So you can say not now. And then it brings you to the contact detail page. And we're going to cover the contact detail page a little bit later. So now let's talk about if you want to add clients in bulk or add contacts in bulk. And that means if you have them on a database, a spreadsheet, this is how you're going to transfer a lot of clients at once. I'm going to tell you this now. It doesn't always work perfectly. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky. Sometimes it doesn't quite import everyone. Sometimes it messes up on an address because there's a number sign or a north or south on the street address or something like that. But for the most part, I would just say if you have a large database of people, I would break it down and upload maybe 100 at a time. And that way you can check and see your numbers and how many you actually got in there, and it doesn't overwhelm the system. So again, anytime you want to go back to the home page, you can either click the Zap button or the dashboard button and just start fresh. So we're going to go back to add, click on add. We're going to hover again over new contact, but this time we're going to go down and click on import contacts. Okay, So the one way that we're going to be able to do this is to upload a CSV file. Okay. What you want to do first is you want to download a sample CSV file. So that's going to show you what fields there are that will line up with your spreadsheet that you're going to upload. Okay. So when we open this, it'll show us all the possible fields that we have that will transfer into Zap. Let's just give it a moment to open up. The important thing to note about the fields is you don't have to fill them all in. But if you're not going to fill them in, my suggestion based on experience would be to delete those fields. Okay, so they give you an example here. So they give you one person as an example, all right? And you have to kind of spread some of these out to actually see the full fields, okay? So you have to do each one of these separately, first name, last name, okay? Email one. Now, let's say, for example, you only are going to have one email for each person. You're not going to have two emails. So you could go ahead and remove this column, okay? Sorry, my computer's having fun today. The other thing that I want to show you in here are what are called tags, okay? So tags are custom labels that you can give your contacts in order to help you filter them. So let's say you have a database of people that you met at open houses, and you could write in the tag for each person, and you can just copy them. If you need Microsoft Excel help, we can talk about that another time. But you could write in, open house for everybody. Or if you have a one list of people that is specifically looking in one particular city, you could add a tag for that. It'll help you to do it up front, to add these tags when you're working in your spreadsheet, than to try to do it individually later. So I would suggest doing it now. And then of course you've got you can do multiple tags, you can add their notes here, job title, the partner stuff, etc., etc. Okay. So my suggestion would be to keep, rename this file, and then import all of your information, take out John's app and import all of your information into this one from whatever you have. Then you know for a fact that everything's correct. And before you do that, I would delete any fields that you're not going to use, so it just makes it for an easier import, okay? Okay, so once you have added some contacts, now how are you going to find them? Well, there's a couple of easy ways to do that. If you're looking for somebody in particular, you can search at the top bar, okay? So if I was looking for Bitsy Buyer, I could look up here and I click on her name and then it brings me to her page, all right? But if I want to look for maybe more than one person, I'm going to click on contacts over on the left-hand column. And this, I already had the filters open. I'm going to keep this down. So it already has recognized that that is the person that I searched for, Bitsy Buyer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the filters and hide them. So I personally have 728 results. I have 728 contacts, all right? From this screen here, I can click on this to find them alphabetically. The one thing about alphabetically on this system is they do it alphabetically by first name, all right? If I want to look at it opposite and I want to see the Z's first, I just click the arrow again. I can also look by Zap score, and I can see which has, who has the highest Zap score to who has the lowest Zap score. So I might want to look at, these people who have been doing a lot of stuff. I personally like to use last login, and I'm going to click it to make sure it's the most recent login, because I like to see, who's searching. All right. So I can see already that there's a few people here that have been on the website searching within the last couple of weeks. I can also do median price. Again, you always got to click twice to do the top and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to look at just people who are looking at high-end houses right now. I got an upcoming listing in my office. Somebody mentioned that they've got something that's, you know, not on the market yet, but it's going to be really expensive. Let me go contact my my high-price buyers. All right. And then you can also filter by last contact, which was when was the last time that you reached out and contacted them. Okay. If you want to get a little bit more specific, you'll click on the filters, you'll open the filters. All right. So you can look at all of your starred clients. Starred is when you have put a star and all you got to do is click on it, click on the star to create it. Okay. And then click on it again to make it go away. Those are for super important, or maybe you're just, you know, people you're actively working with, however you want to deal with your stars. It's up to you. Or I could filter by maybe I want to look for investors. If I've identified them as an investor, then they'll come up. Remember, you have to identify them as such. Lead type, agent lead and broker lead. Most of the leads that you're going to have in here are agent leads. That means that you entered them yourself. Broker leads are ones that you got from LeadRouter, from the system. You could filter by last login, who's logged in most recently. Let's say I just want to see, all right, who's been on my website in the last 7 days? Who's been looking for homes in the last 7 days? Who's active right now? And it'll pull up these two people. Great, me and one of my closed buyers. That's fabulous. You can also filter by the date added. Who did you add, you know, most recently? The service market, you can find out, you know, who's looking. Oh, I've got something coming up in San Jose area. Let me look at those, you know, people down there. Here's the custom tags. Okay, so I've already created some of my own. And so let's say I just want to look at my closed clients. I want to contact my closed clients. All right, so I've got 3. Actually, I have 4, but I don't know why the other one's not showing up. And I just want to, for whatever reason, I want to find them and contact them. Okay, so I could find my closed clients. I can look at to see who is on follow-up plans, who I've got set up on new listing alerts, who's got watched homes, who's got saved homes. We'll be talking about each of these when we get into the contact detail page. Okay, and I can also look by median price. There's also some more filters. If you have any of this information, it's a little bit less, a little bit more obscure. Okay, but this is how you find your clients. And again, those tags can be really helpful, and you can create as many of them as you want. I'll show you how to do that when we look at the client detail page, which we will be getting to in part 5.